Open up a tab, grab a seat, and pour a pint. It's time for the Beer Guys Radio Show.
You want free beer? Go to the brewery.
Dedicated to the art, science, and enjoyment of craft beer.
Yeah, what's wrong with the beer we got?
Now, here are your hosts, Tim Dennis and Aaron Williams.
And welcome to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We are radio for the craft beer movement, broadcasting from our AM 920 The Answer studios in lovely Buckhead, Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm Aaron Williams.
And I'm Tim Dennis. And this week we've got Left Nut Brewing in the house with us. We have Brewmaster Jason Ford and R&D Director Rick Foote with us. Guys, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, definitely. We're excited to grab some of your beers, drink some of your beers, and talk about it. And we'll get into it in just a second. But first, you know, we've had a pretty busy week out there. Of course, it seems like it's busy every single week.
It's always busy.
With it being beer drinking season and all.
You have to be prepared for beer drinking season can come up anytime. Boom.
It can.
There it is.
And it just pops right up, and
right.
you just don't know when it's coming.
In time.
So you got to be careful with that. So this weekend I went up to South Carolina because it's not only beer drinking season, it's also graduation season. So I had a cousin that graduated up in Columbia, South Carolina. Partook in some of their beers. I don't want to say that I was as underwhelmed with it in Columbia, because I know Charleston makes a lot of great beers, and there's some Holy City and of course Westbrook and those places. But Columbia, I think, is still a little bit up and coming. They need to work on it a little bit.
Happens.
But River Rat had a nice IPA. I wasn't able to get to Conquest. Those are the two main ones in Columbia. But there's a place called Craft and Draft in Columbia. It's a good bottle shop. And those guys were really awesome. So shout out to Anthony and those guys for helping me out. So that's what I had. It was very exciting. Brought home a couple of beers from South Carolina for us to try as well. So
very cool.
What about yourself?
So last weekend we had a Reddit bottle share with the Reddit ATL beer crew. Always a good time. So we got together and opened a bunch of bottles, tried a bunch of beers, and just had a good time with that. And then I went to Wild Heaven's 7th anniversary. Went over there, big crowd over there. Their 7th anniversary beer, 7th Heaven, which is an Amaro-inspired strong ale. Fantastic.
Okay.
Absolutely excellent.
I'm sorry, Amaro-inspired?
Amaro, which is an Italian liqueur.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah.
I'm not up on my Italian liqueur, so I'm not sure.
It had, and I don't, Brian, do you know Amaro? I know you're a spirits and liqueur
yeah. Is it an
so.
almond? No, or is it?
I don't think there was a lot of dark fruit flavors in it.
Interesting.
So it was, no, not like amaretto, but it was good.
Yeah.
And that's really all that matters, Aaron.
That is definitely true. At the end of the day,
so.
that's all that matters, exactly.
And I've really been digging Southern Prohibition's beers lately.
Me too.
I took a trip to Mississippi a while back, and I've enjoyed that they're coming here to Georgia. I think we've mentioned it already, but the Devil's Harvest Breakfast IPA.
Oh, so good.
The best part of waking up, man.
Absolutely.
So I've really been enjoying that.
Yeah, and you brought back Mississippi Fire Ant there, Imperial Red Ale.
Yeah, their Imperial Red.
Had that last week, too, and that's...
Yeah.
Dare I say it was almost juicy for a red ale.
It was. So I've had that one before. It's been one of my go-tos there. This latest batch was a little different. So a little more malt to it, in my opinion, than that. So, but that Devil's Harvest, it's on point.
It's so good. It's great IPA, little in a session.
Absolutely.
IPA.
So that was my drinking week.
Excellent. A good drinking week to be had. And we've got some more beers, so let's check them out. It's our Truck and Tap Beers of the Week.
Crack open a cold one. It's the Truck and Tap Beer of the Week. Woo-hoo! Craft beer and food trucks in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com.
And, of course, with the guys from Left Nut Brewing in the house with us today, we've got some Left Nut beer. So Jason and Rick were kind enough to share. So what we cracked one open, of course, before the show started. What are we drinking on right now?
This is our Holland Glocken. It's our spring seasonal. It is a Hella-style lager.
Excellent. I do like a good Hella-style lager this time of the year. It's good lawnmower beer, just like when you're doing yard work and it's 95 degrees out and 99% humidity. And this is a good, refreshing one. I like this one.
Excellent.
Are you curious about the name at all?
I am curious about the name. I just know it's German, but I failed German in 7th grade when I took it. So I'm
all the good beer names have been taken.
Okay.
That's the truth,
We brainstorm on this all the time because we want to trademark all of our beer names. But the original name for this beer was Hell's Bells. Of course, it's already been taken.
Yeah.
So
there's a certain brewery in Michigan that kind of frowns on that, I believe.
So we use the German equivalent. So it's a German translation. It means basically Hell's Bells.
Okay, that's cool. You got to get creative with it like that, because there's so many names that.
Yes.
And even if they aren't taken, there's words that have
exactly
been taken,
some words that can be said, or maybe AC/DC comes down and gets the cease and desist on you or something. But no, anyway, that's cool. That's excellent. So you've got several more beers there in the pike. I'm looking forward to starting those as well. So should be a good time had by all. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and check out our headlines.
What's in the news? The beer guys have the scoop.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Time for headlines. Sponsored by Your Pie Perimeter in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center across from Perimeter Mall.
Now, Tim, I live, of course, in Lawrenceville in Gwinnett County, and, usually we're kind of a craft beer wasteland, but this time, this news story, we're ahead of the game. Highwire, we've had it it's actually been distributing to Athens.
Okay.
And one of the nice things about living in my area, Lawrenceville, Grayson, is that we get both Atlanta and Athens distribution.
You hit that fringe area there.
Exactly.
So
I've had Highwire a few times, but it looks like it's coming to Atlanta officially here.
Yep. So they just sent out a press release recently that they're coming to Atlanta and the rest of Georgia with their full portfolio, their IPAs, milk stout, sour beers, and all of that. So they're coming full force. They had a good rollout across the rest of the state in Savannah and Athens, Augusta areas. So they're going to get Atlanta and South Georgia in the mix there.
Excellent. That's very cool. Very cool. Speaking of cool, by the way, $8.4 billion. I believe I should have like a Dr. Evil stinger or something for that. But that's what a new study says the beer industry creates or contributes to Georgia's economy every year, supporting 53,487 jobs in the state. And that was, of course, commissioned by the National Beer Wholesalers Association and the Beer Institute. It showed that the beer industry in Georgia accounts for more than $2.4 billion in wages and benefits, generating more than $1.1 billion in business and personal taxes, and paid $293 million in consumption taxes in 2016. So the beer business is good for Georgia.
It is.
Yes.
I want to see those numbers again in a year and 2 years.
I do too.
See how we progress from there. I know we've already had some good progression with our brewery growth and that. So
exactly.
Hopefully with SB 85 getting kicked off there, we'll have some really good stuff going on.
Yeah, and I know these guys are really excited for SB 85 to kick off too. So we'll talk to them a little bit later about their plans here when September 1st rolls around. So you're a dog person, Tim.
I am.
I'm a dog person. Everyone, they should be a dog person. Or a cat person,
be.
I guess. You should be, exactly.
Nah, dog.
But what's better than taking your four-legged friend to the dog park and having a beer along with it?
Sounds like
I think it's
plan.
a brilliant idea, and I think it's way too long in coming. But it looks like it's coming to Old Fourth Ward. Fetch Park and Ice House, Atlanta's first full-service dog park bar and restaurant, is scurrying. I didn't do that. Toward completion at the southwestern tip of Old Fourth Ward. So it's right there along Decatur Street and Boulevard. It's going to be a dog-friendly green space, and right there by the King Memorial MARTA station and the Beltline's East Side Trail. Should be open sometime in the autumn time, so it looks like it's going to be interesting. You've got annual memberships, which would allow unlimited entry to the park. So you've got, for $240, the pass gives access to park perks like 2 dog washing stations, cooling and heating stations, and 15 to 20 free events a year. It's just going to be $10 entry every time you just want to hang out and go there too.
Yeah, and that some people have complained about an entry fee and something to note on the entry fee. That's only if you got your dog with you.
Okay.
If you're just coming to have a beer, you don't have to pay that. And I'm assuming that's because of the amenities they have there for the dogs.
Yeah, maybe some liability or
things
something. Exactly.
Sure.
So that's.
But
good.
if you just want to go drink a beer and that, no $10 cover charge.
And hang around with a bunch of dogs. It'd be
right.
great.
Cover charge at a dog park. That's interesting.
Definitely. Yeah. Now, what if the guy in the gate, kind of blocks
right.
you in a block? If you're not a good
Do
looking
your dogs
dog.
have to get their paws stamped?
That's right. Exactly. You come in. Exactly. So some good news also from Monday Night Brewing. They were the big winner at the All Tech Craft Brews Fest. This is from AgWire, the news from the world of agribusiness, which I know you subscribe to all the time, Tim.
I do. You got to have your ag news.
Absolutely. But anyway, out of 50 breweries from 4 countries, they submitted 325 unique beers. And basically, at the end of the day, the Commonwealth Cup was awarded to Tears of My Enemies, which is Monday Night Scotch Barrel-Aged Milk Stout. So they won that big prize. It's pretty prestigious for them.
And it is an absolutely delicious beer.
It is fantastic. And honestly,
Yes.
it's probably one of my favorites that they make. So congratulations to them. A little bit of news out of San Diego. 10 Barrel Brewing. They're opening up their big beer or brew pub in San Diego. Of course, they're out of Oregon, purchased by AB InBev. They are opening up this weekend, actually. Not a lot of people are happy about that.
Sure.
Yeah. So
well, I think a lot are, but there's a good handful of them that are not.
There's kind of some of the rabble rousers, as they would say. Yes, they're rabble rousing up there, and apparently 10 Barrel, they're not really happy because again, it's owned by AB InBev. They don't want them coming in and surlying their area with a corporate-owned brew pub, even going as far as to have a banner flying across it saying 10 Barrel is not craft beer. So
did you see the full story on the banner?
I didn't see
thing?
I did not.
So
actually.
a guy started a GoFundMe or Kickstarter type campaign to pay for the banner and airplane rental.
Okay.
To go out there, and I think his target was $900, and last I saw, he got like $2,200.
Okay.
Now to counter this, 10 Barrel came out and said, or who AB InBev
Yes.
said that they would match every dollar given to his fund and give it to charity. So,
That's fantastic.
And I think they had the hashtag something like "Make Lemonade" or something like that.
Funny.
So they're fighting back. And I tell you, I'm not sure if he'll accomplish his mission there because they sure are getting a lot of publicity.
Exactly. Everyone knows that 10 Barrel's opening up in San Diego this weekend. So anyway, it's time for us to take a break. We'll be back with Jason and Rick from Left Nut Brewing. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show, beerguysradio.com, and we'll be back right after this.
I'm Josh Rachel. I'm the co-owner and brewmaster of Jekyll Brewing, and you're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
The Beer Guys are back right after this.
The Columbus Craft Beer Bash is coming soon. It's a celebration of all things local. Local food, local music, and of course, local craft beer. The Columbus Craft Beer Bash, June 24th from noon to 5 at Chattahoochee Harley-Davidson in Columbus. Sponsored by Cerrone's Brick Oven Pizza and the Columbus Beverage Superstore. A portion of the proceeds goes to Paws Humane Society. Tickets are just $35 and go up on June 12th. So get your tickets now. Just go to beerbash.brownpapertickets.com.
Andrew and Lisa with Your Pie Perimeter here. We'd like to invite you to our store for a beer.
Is there anything better than pizza?
Yep, brick oven pizza that's made fresh and paired with a cold craft beer.
That's what you get at Your Pie Perimeter, located in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center by Perimeter Mall.
It's the perfect place to relax on the patio with a pint after work or bring the family in.
Andrew and Lisa, I'm going to let you finish, but first, you forgot to mention the $3 craft beer specials you have every Thursday. I mean, come on, the pizza's great, but that's an amazing deal. $3 craft beer specials every Thursday. Now, go ahead and finish your commercial.
Follow Your Pie Perimeter on Facebook for all of our beer events and specials.
That's Your Pie Perimeter, located in Perimeter Place Shopping Center next to Chipotle.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Cannonball coming.
Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
And welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. Come visit us at beerguysradio.com. We're broadcasting from our home studios at AM 920 The Answer in beautiful Buckhead, Atlanta, Georgia. And we're talking to Left Nut Brewing this week. We've got Jason Ford and Rick Foote in the studio with us. Guys, thanks again for joining us. We do appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
So we tried your Helles Lager just before in the first segment. What have you got for us next?
Want to get this one?
There you go.
Well, what we have is, well, here again, it's hard to come up with names.
Yeah.
But it's an IPA, essentially 2 malts and 1 hop.
Okay.
The hop is Columbus, and the malts are pretty basic, 2 row and a little bit of crystal.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it's named after a local phenomenon in Gainesville, Georgia, which is where the brewery is located, known as the Bridge to Nowhere.
The Bridge to Nowhere.
Bridge to Nowhere.
I've heard of a road to nowhere, but
it's a pedestrian bridge that's built over the busiest thoroughfare in the city, and it was supposed to go to this big development like conference center and hotels and all this stuff, which never materialized because in 2008 the economy went,
I was just going to say this was probably planned in about 2008, 2009, right? So
the bridge right now goes to a nice green field area.
Well, there you go.
That could be nice. Nice place to enjoy a beer, right? Go out there, relax.
Hang out there with the dog or everything like that. So you guys are about a year and a half old now. Start brewing beers for about that time. Let's talk a little bit about the formation. How did you guys get started and why Gainesville?
I think, excuse me, everything started with our CEO, Mr. Pap Data, affectionately known as Pap. He got together with a good friend of his, Ashesh, and they started talking about opening a brewery. Pap's from Cumming, so he was looking for a place in Cumming to open up, and unfortunately the zoning wasn't quite right for light industrial and some of the more desirable places. So he decided to look elsewhere. He brought Rick Foote on board, met him through our consultant, Kevin McNerney.
Formerly Sweetwater.
From Sweetwater, 5 Seasons, correct. So Rick suggested a couple of locations in Gainesville, and we were going to try and set up a place downtown. That didn't really work out, but the backup plan was always Chicopee Mill, which is a mill built in 1927 by Johnson & Johnson. We occupied their administrative building, had it all gutted out. There was no concrete. There was a bunch of tongue and groove sleepers on the floor. Had to gut all that stuff out, pour a new concrete pad, and build a brewery out of it. And I like to tell people it may have not known it yet, but it was always meant to be a brewery because it's just an absolutely beautiful space now.
I think a lot of brewers are just gluttons for punishment when it comes to building an actual brewery, because we see, they're like, check out our new space, and it looks like it was hitting an air raid. So they're look at our space, so they go in, I guess, just like this. You went in, you saw the potential of what it could be, with the shell that you had there. So did you face anything unexpected there when you got into the renovation and kind of reconstruction of things?
Just the amount of time that it took.
The time. Yeah. It's always the kicker, right?
Yeah, and everyone says that. They're like, we'll be complete in 6-7 months. And then a year and a half later, they're like,
we were about a year off in the timeline.
Yeah.
How big is your location there?
It's 19,000 square feet.
Okay.
So now we talked before the show. You're brewing off of a 30-barrel brew house from Karbach that you bought. Is there enough room for you guys to expand if and when you need that too?
Absolutely. I think under our current sort of setup and our plan, we could expand without leaving those four walls up to about 55,000 barrels.
Okay. That's quite a big operation then, if that's the case.
Yeah,
so,
that's
good.
That's a good size. What are you producing now? What's your barrel-wise?
We just, I think we're right at about 1,200 barrels so far since we started.
So a little room for growth then,
a little room
right?
for growth.
Yeah. Awesome.
Definitely. Now, in Gainesville, you guys are sort of the gateway to the mountains and recreational areas of North Georgia. Does that really influence your style and how you guys brew and what the beers you put out?
I think we definitely want to use as many ingredients that we can source locally. We have some beers that use honey from North Georgia. We also use some Georgia pecans in our beers. So that's one consideration. I think we do try to encourage the opportunities that are around us, like the mountain bike course that's across the street from us. So we're going to hopefully start doing some rallies and get people engaged with mountain bikers. Every Sunday, we usually have a parking lot full of mountain bike riders, and they come in afterwards and have a couple of beers and enjoy some time with us. But
I'd hope they come afterwards, not before. That could be a problem.
Yeah. Cramps and crashes are
exactly.
pretty bad.
That would not be pretty.
If they come before, they may try to leave and just wobble back around the circle, come back. So
exactly.
Yeah. Well, guys, we've had a few breweries on here lately that are in some of the less served areas of Georgia. You guys being in Gainesville, I think they're the first in Gwinnett County. Is that right, Aaron?
Yeah,
we're
right,
in Hall County.
Oh, you're in Hall County. Okay, I wasn't sure because you're right
the
there.
First brewery ever in Hall.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Gwinnett has a brewery yet.
We don't.
No,
I
they're
believe
under construction, right?
I think Slow Pour is under construction, and then there's some in Duluth that are kind of on the way too. But yeah, so far Gwinnett is so far dry.
Yeah, beyond us going north, there's some in Blue Ridge. But that's about it.
Yeah. So in that area, one thing, coming to an area that hasn't had a brewery Gainesville. How was the craft beer scene there when you guys launched? How's it grown, and what do you see for the future up that way?
I think it's a building process. We had a really good craft restaurant, pizza place, but they basically closed for kind of weird reasons. The building got bought out from under them, essentially, so they had to move out.
Oh, okay.
But there are some. We have like Wild Wing Cafe that has some good beers. Has our beers. Recess Gastro Pub downtown Gainesville. Downtown Giraffes is a growler shop. They have a good selection there. Really good selection. Tap is another growler shop north of there, going north Hall area. Good draft selection there. Good craft selection there.
Yeah, and we've seen it actually, kind of grow and grow nowadays. That like we mentioned before, Tim, the smaller communities are starting to embrace their own craft beer and kind of go forward from there. We had Printer's Ale on, and and from Carrollton, same kind of way. It's like an area that's not used to craft beer. You go in there, you start to educate them, and all of a sudden it starts to build that community up a little more. So
yeah, our Mighty Banyan Double IPA. We've had a lot of people turn on to double IPAs. Maybe they weren't familiar with this style, but they try that and they say, "Wow, I've always shied away from those beers. Didn't really know what to expect, but now that I've actually had it, this is fantastic."
Yeah, they'll say, "I don't like IPAs, but I like the Mighty Banyan."
Yeah, well, so you got a little more of that malt backbone to it too, so you're not getting that just hop in your face piney bitterness to it with a double. You're just kind of mellowing out a little more. And people get scared away of the word IPA, but when they try it, they're like, "Oh yeah, this is much better."
Especially double IPA, like you said, it kind of tones it down a little bit, and so the Mighty Banyan. What style double IPA do you lean towards? West Coast or juicy or
West Coast?
There you go,
the West Coast style. Yeah,
classic. Definitely. Well, cool. We're talking to Jason Ford and Rick Foote from Gainesville's Left Nut Brewing. Got a couple more minutes till we have to wrap up this segment. And Jason, you had worked at a few places before, Oscar Blues and Sweetwater Monday Night, before you joined the Left Nut team. Why did you decide to make the move and go all the way up to Gainesville?
It's very rare that one gets the opportunity to build a brewery from the ground up, and that was kind of how it was posed to me when I was contacted by Kevin McNerney. He said, would you like the opportunity? I said, sure, let me meet these guys, see if we can work together. And I think I was at the right time in my life where this would really work out, and I felt confident enough in my abilities. And I've learned a lot more through the experience, but having a real concept of everything from grain to glass, all the mechanics that go into it really helped me out. And I'm still learning, but man, what a fantastic ride.
Nothing wrong with that. Exactly. Wake up every day and brew beer. That's
exactly.
your job.
I never work another day of my life that way.
That's right.
There
It's a
you
dirty
go.
job, but someone's got to do it. Exactly.
That's
So,
a good attitude to have, because
Yeah.
brewing is a lot of work. So if you say,
Yeah.
you know, that's I was just talking with a buddy last night who's brewing now, and you know, when you're doing your home brews, you're in your garage with your friends and you're hanging out. Super casual, lots of fun in that. But you know, especially a brewery that gets busy, you're gonna work. I mean, it's pretty hard, hot physical labor. So as long as you love doing it. But I've seen a few people that have went in there expecting something more like the garage experience and got a little bit of a shock there.
Yeah, that's why it was really nice to work for some of those other breweries and really understand what the grind is when you expand and you get
Yeah.
big. So I'm ready for it.
A little bit different than a 5-gallon brew bottle, right? Exactly. Well, cool. We're talking to the guys from Left Up Brewing, Jason Ford and Rick Foote. We're going to take another break right now. Beer Guys Radio, beerguysradio.com, and we'll be back right after this.
Hello, everybody. This is Larry WACHS from the WACHS Modcast, Atlanta's #1 smartphone radio show. And I've been drinking beer with the Beer Guys on Beer Guys Radio. And I want to know why I have 11 fingers all of a sudden.
The Beer Guys are back right after this.
Hey, it's Aaron for the Nest in downtown Kennesaw. And do you smell that? Something is in the air. It is the sweet, sweet smell of barbecue. And for this Memorial Day weekend, the Nest in downtown Kennesaw is your destination for not only some amazing barbecue, but one of the best craft beer spots, OTP or ITP. If you're hungry for some barbecue, you need to be at the Nest. It is just in time for beer drinking season. Summer is here, so celebrate it with friends and family while sipping on a Georgia-made beer on their 2,000-square-foot patio. Brews from Creature Comforts, Jekyll, Omaha, Red Brick, Reformation, so much more. Awesome barbecue. They've got 59 taps pouring the best craft beer in Georgia and the world. Coffee and wine, too. What else do you want? It's the Nest in historic downtown Kennesaw on Cherokee Street Northwest. Check out their current beer list and menu at thenestkennesaw.com. That's thenestkennesaw.com, and let them know you heard it on the Beer Guys.
If you're into craft beer, you need to check out Drink This Beer. It's a podcast from the creators of Beer Guys Radio. Tim Dennis and Aaron Williams talk to some of the best and most important brewers across the country and the world. So if you like to drink beer, pull up a chair and crack open the Drink This Beer podcast. Available on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We are Reformation Brewery, celebrating the reformer in you. Locally crafted within the renowned Etowah watershed of Woodstock, Georgia, Reformation creates yeast-forward brews full of aroma and flavor crafted to last. Come see us in beautiful Woodstock, Georgia, for a tour and tasting of unique brews that you can't find anywhere else. Reformation Brewery, set beer free. ReformationBrewery.com.
Ahoy there, mateys! Hunting whales? We've got you covered with Tim's Whale of the Week.
All right, Tim, I know what one of the whales are, so fill us in, yes.
Okay, so whales. This week, we've been talking about this one for a while. Does that make it more of a white whale if you have to hunt it for a while?
I think so. Captain Ahab has been looking and scanning all the bottle shops for
the
weeks.
horizon with his scope.
Yes.
And the cake has landed in Atlanta. So hit Alabama shops last week. Westbrook Mexican Cake hit a little earlier this week. So keep your eye out. A lot of the major shops probably be gone. You know, the big shops, got it earlier in the week. It moves quickly. But normally it trickles out over a week or so. So
hopefully you can. Like I said, I was in South Carolina last week, and I asked them if they had any cake, and they laughed at me. So, I felt kind of
But a couple more to look out for. Coming up later this week, Second Self's MIG. margarita in Goza. So they're taking their Goza and they're margarita-izing it, which is a word.
To the danger zone.
That's right. Yes. Absolutely. And Orpheus, you ready for this?
Okay, here we go.
Orpheus like a white curtain blowing in the draft from a half-open window beside a chair on which nobody sits. That's releasing this weekend at their anniversary party, a limited one. It is a blend of wine barrel-aged American wild ales.
I'm just going to call it a white curtain. Jason, can I have some of that white curtain? That's all I want.
So
that's it.
He'll know.
Yes.
But yes, so that's the full name of the beer. That's it. So there's a few to look out for.
Very small font is going to be on the label.
That's
there.
Right.
Going through there. So
or a huge label.
That's true. We could do that as well.
You can go either way with this, Aaron.
Right. That's right. Hey, we're talking to Left Nut Brewing's Jason Foote and Rick Foote. Thanks so much for joining us, guys, all the way from Gainesville, Georgia. And over the break, we were talking about starting up. And of course, craft beer has become more competitive. A lot more folks are getting into the sphere, into the industry, which not necessarily makes it difficult for people on the ground, but when it comes to getting resources, that's sometimes a fairly difficult thing to do, right?
It can be. Hops are, especially some of the specialty varieties, are sought after, and I think that's one of the major concerns that some of us as brewers have with more of these craft breweries being gobbled up and consolidated, that the buying power that they have for specialty hops is going to be significant and might potentially squeeze us out as craft brewers that can't get a hold of some of those.
And, craft brewers are versatile folks, but it's kind of going in a cycle now where there'll be a shortage on one hop, so brewers start using a different hop, and then they love that hop. So a few years later, there's a shortage on that one. It just seems like, I guess as long as they keep coming out with new great hops to work with, that you can adapt in that. But it's kind of funny to see that cycle happening there. So, So what hops are you guys excited about this year? What are you going to be using?
The standards.
Yeah,
the good old standards there, huh? Okay.
Centennial, Cascade, all that kind of stuff.
All the C hops, of course.
All the C hops,
okay.
Yeah, all the C hops.
Do you guys play with experimental hops much, or do you prefer to keep, the kind of the classic hops?
Maybe, we do test batches, small batch, one-offs. We might use hops like that.
Try something out there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, it's funny. I saw an interview with your boss, and he basically said he tasked you guys with filling the spectrum, but don't rely on hard-to-get ingredients. I think it's a pretty smart plan, actually, to say, we want to create all styles for all beers, but don't want you going crazy and getting stuff that, you can get 3 ounces of, right? For $15 a thing.
There's one hop plant in the whole world producing this hop,
exactly.
and that's the one we want.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. So I guess it would be a sort of a challenge, but also kind of a fun task to make sure that you're getting all the beer styles that you want out there, but again, not trying to not pushing the boundaries, I should say, but just making really good, solid beer with the ingredients that are available.
It's a good foundation for us. We are a startup, so if we can get a nice baseline of good quality products out, very good consistency with the base ingredients, and that gives us something to launch off of, and we can start being more and more creative as we move forward.
Very cool.
Sure.
Now, Rick, you're a longtime brewer. You're a certified beer judge, correct? And you're tasked with R&D for the brewery. What's an average day, or what's your main goal and task there with Left Nut?
Well, today, for example, before I came to the studio, I was brewing in my home brewery to do some experimental stuff. We're going to come out with some interesting beers. I'm not going to divulge
secret.
At this point.
Is the R&D secret? Yes.
But we're always, experimenting.
Excellent. So, have you worked on any sour programs or anything like that too?
We've not done any sours.
Yeah.
We're not adverse to doing sours. It's just we haven't got there yet.
Sure.
And we don't want to endanger the brewery environment.
That's always true. Exactly. You got to make sure. You got to be careful sometimes. Those can kind of
I might do a one-off test batch, off-site somewhere. But
yeah.
Right.
So yeah. So now, your owner seems pretty optimistic about the business once SB 85 goes into effect. Which, of course, for those who don't know, SB 85 will allow direct sales from the brewery to the person, to the buyer, without using that middleman, starting in September 1st. Heard you guys maybe thinking about doubling production. That's going to be quite the step for you guys.
It'll be interesting to see how in our neighborhood how that plays out. We get a lot of folks, again, the mountain bike riders, the guys at the golf course right up the street, come in at various hours of the day, want to come in and have a pint. I think the majority of the changes that'll happen for us, I think a lot more people will come by on their way home. Atlanta Highway is a pretty good thoroughfare for a lot of people coming in and out of Gainesville. I see a lot more beer to go sales being sort of where the production will go in regards to that change.
Yeah, and if you're on a major thoroughfare, it kind of makes it a little bit easier for you. You know, there's some people we've talked to that won't affect them very much. Others, like yourselves, maybe a lot better because, like you said, I mean, I'm in the morning, I'm going to go mountain biking and go hiking or fishing or something like that. It's convenient for me to stop by, grab a six-pack or whatever, and then be on my way.
Well, a lot of people, the way things are now, they don't want to be saddled with the tour experience.
Yes.
Like a mountain biker, I want a pint and then I'm hitting the road and going back to wherever my home is. It could be Atlanta, it could be Kennesaw. You know, we have people come from all over to our mountain biking venue because it's probably one of the best in the state, and it's right across the street from us. You know, a passerby might say, well, I'm going to wait out traffic. I just want one beer and then I'll get back on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have to go through the whole tour rigmarole. You know, that could open up additional revenue for us.
Sure. And I've seen that on both sides where people come in and they're like, hey, let me get, pint of your IPA. And I'm like, well, I can't do that, but I can sell you this tour. And they're like, well, I don't want to do that. Or someone will just come in and say, hey, I saw your brewery here. I'm going to a party tonight. I want to grab a six-pack to take with me. Well, I can't do that, but I can sell you this, this tour and do this and that. So, but fortunately, we've got SB 85 coming up. So
Yay.
September 1st, that's going to go into effect. So I've been talking with a few brewers lately about SB 85 and the changes not only that are going to be allowed, but the changes that will need to be made to kind of implement this, because there are a lot of breweries in Georgia right now that may not be set up for a true bar-type experience in that. So looking forward to SB 85. Have you guys kind of covered yet how you're going to implement it, any changes you're going to make, and what you expect when the change comes?
We had a great guild meeting recently, and that was sort of the hot topic. One of the guys from Cigar City came up and said, hey, listen, it's time to really start preparing yourself for what's coming up, how to manage that, what you need to do as far as glassware and staff and point of sale. How are you going to have all that stuff in line? What do you actually plan to do with it? And just being prepared. I think everybody's going to make some sort of assessment. We're definitely going to hire more folks. That's I think that across the board, all the breweries need more staff to cover those additional hours. So that's kind of sort of what we're looking at doing as well.
So yeah, you may actually be keeping more quote unquote normal hours than actual bar hours. You may be open a little bit longer just to keep that going too. So
it's very possible.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about that all those different logistical things that you don't think about.
Yeah, because right now, that's I was just talking with a brewer earlier, and he said it doesn't really benefit us to be open hours like a bar or a restaurant or something, because we know a customer's going to come in, they're going to spend $12, and once that beer's done, they're done. So there's no real benefit to that. And like you mentioned, on the flip side of that, someone comes in and just wants a single beer. They want to wait out, traffic or something like that, and just have one beer or that. Can't do that right now.
You can't do that right now, but now we'll have options coming up very soon, which is
options
always
good.
Options
are nice.
are definitely good. We're about ready to take a break right now. Actually, we are going to take a break right now. We're talking with Jason Ford and Rick Foote from Gainesville's Left Nut Brewing. And you're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. BeerGuysRadio.com. We'll be back right after this.
I'm Garrett Lockhart, President and Brewmaster at Red Brick Brewing, and you're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
The Beer Guys are back right after this.
Andrew and Lisa with Your Pie Perimeter here. We'd like to invite you to our store for a beer.
Is there anything better than pizza?
Yep, brick oven pizza that's made fresh and paired with a cold craft beer.
That's what you get at Your Pie Perimeter, located in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center by Perimeter Mall.
It's the perfect place to relax on the patio with a pint, after work, or bring the family in.
Andrew and Lisa, I'm going to let you finish, but first, you forgot to mention the $3 craft beer specials you have every Thursday. I mean, come on, the pizza's great, but that's an amazing deal. $3 craft beer specials every Thursday. Now, go ahead and finish your commercial.
Follow Your Pie Perimeter on Facebook for all of our beer events and specials.
That's Your Pie Perimeter, located in Perimeter Place Shopping Center next to Chipotle.
Have you ever thought about owning your own brewery, but don't know what it takes to get one built? We're CRL Contracting, and we build breweries. We are the most experienced contractors in the state of Georgia when it comes to building new breweries and tap rooms, or expanding current breweries. If you've been to Orpheus, Second Self, or Scofflaw, then you know what kind of work we can do. Just give us a call at 678-546-3382 or visit crlcontracting.com for more information. CRL Contracting. We build breweries. crlcontracting.com.
It's Aaron and Tim, the beer guys. If you're like us, no lunch or dinner is complete without a pint or two of craft beer.
Which is why Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock is always on our list. Tim, why do they call it Truck and Tap?
Well, the tap part is easy. They have 12 of them. Bottles, too. Not sure what to drink? All of their beer servers are Cicerone certified. And if you got someone who isn't a beer fan, not to worry. Truck and Tap carries wine, mixed drinks, and even handcrafted sodas.
As for the truck part, well, that's when it gets interesting. Truck and Tap features your favorite Atlanta area food trucks daily. That way, you're getting a different menu every day.
Check it out. Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com. Let them know that the beer guy sent you.
Together with the crew to celebrate, skip the grocery store, head to the Stout Brothers Smyrna Beer Market and pick up a couple of growlers or crowlers of the craft beer that you love. It is a great place to spend some time with those awesome things: craft beer, barbecue, fresh local meats and cheeses. The Stout Brothers Smyrna Beer Market makes hanging out with the crew easy. So grab some local beers from Creature Comforts, Omaha, Southern, Arches, Monday Night, and more. Of course, this weather means it is grilling season. Did you know the Stout Brothers Smyrna Beer Market has you covered with all things Big Green Egg? They've got grills of all sizes and all the accessories. Seriously, they've got everything you need for an awesome barbecue, including fresh local meats, cheeses, and sides. So it's quite simple. If you really like craft beer, then you have to visit the Stout Brothers Smyrna Beer Market in the Smyrna Market Village, thestoutbrothers.com, and let them know you heard it on the Beer Guys.
It's now time for Jay's Spectacular Soda segment on the Beer Guys Radio Show.
So here at the Beer Guys Radio Show, we are firm believers in the power of nepotism. So with that in mind, I brought my son into the studio. Jay Williams is here to talk about soda. Jay, how you doing today?
I am doing grand, Father.
So we've got a soda, picked it up in Decatur. Why don't you tell the folks about it?
Well, it's ranch dressing soda. That's pretty much all she wrote. Soda that tastes like ranch dressing, apparently.
Okay, let's see if it actually worked. Can you go ahead and open up the bottle and pour it out and see what you got?
Okay. It looks like Sprite, but foggy.
What does it smell like?
Ranch dressing and some sort of vinegar or something. I don't know.
Well, that sounds delectable. Why don't you take a drink and see how it goes?
Why didn't I sign up for this? Okay, 3, 2, 1. It's actually not that bad.
What do you taste?
It's really sweet, but that's bad aftertaste. Nope.
So it starts off sweet, but the end.
It starts off sweet, then it has like this chemically smell. It's like, ugh.
So out of 1 stars to McDonald's, how would you rate it?
Undercooked chicken.
So there you have it, folks. The soda review by Jay Williams of ranch dressing soda. Thanks for helping us out, Jay. Appreciate it.
I got you, Dad.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
The numbers all go to 11.
Does that mean it's louder?
Well, it's 1 louder, isn't it?
Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
And welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We're in the AM 920 The Answer studios here in Buckhead, Atlanta, Georgia. And we're talking to Left Nut Brewing's Jason Ford and Rick Foote. Guys, I'm going to ask the question that I'm sure anytime there's an interview for Left Nut Brewing, that this question gets asked.
We knew it was coming up.
So, yes. do you like the way we waited to get in a little bit?
Yeah.
They're like, maybe they're going to leave this one alone. The name, Left Nut Brewing. So I know you guys actually had a little bit of headache with it up front, right? Didn't you have to do a little legal battle to make sure you got to keep the name and that? So to bundle all the questions in at once, why the name Left Nut Brewing? And, why fighting for that? What's it mean to you guys?
You taking this one, Jason?
Both silence and they're like,
we tell the story, or at least I tell the story every tour I do.
I was going to say, had to be
you had to have one,
you say a lot. Sure enough.
Because it comes up.
Yeah.
It's the obvious question.
Right.
Your
name? There you go.
All right. So to just really put it out there, you have to ask yourself sometimes what you'd really be willing to sacrifice to gain something greater. And in the particular case of my CEO, he was getting towards the end of his tenure with the company that he was with for many, many years. And he finally said, I'm tired of the planes. I'm tired of the cubicles. I'd be willing to give my left one in order to own my own brewery.
Okay.
And that's kind of where it started. But yes, it does mean willing to sacrifice something of value to gain something greater. And we did have a little bit of a trademark issue, but our lawyers took it on pro bono. And if you actually look in many different things can be left nut. For example, the passenger behind the driver in a car. They were only
backseat driver.
There you go.
Backseat driver.
Also known as left nut.
Yeah, they were only citing Urban Dictionary, and you can't just cite Urban Dictionary because I could say pinky toe, and that would be disgusting.
Yes. So I didn't really know that.
We don't. I'm not sure we want to get into too much Urban Dictionary definitions.
I didn't know
so.
the Urban Dictionary was legal precedent. So
That's
now
right.
that's
It's
something
used
I
in the
learned.
court of law now.
That's good to know. Okay, that's it.
According to UrbanDictionary.com.
That's right. That's right.
Well, guys, so what? I know when people first heard the name when you first launched, because I try and keep up with the news filings and that, and we were saying Left Nut Brewing coming to Gainesville. Some people are like, "Oh, that's funny." Others, naturally, that's offensive. That's tasteless. I can't believe they went that way. What are you guys seeing at the brewery and from people out there? Do you get more positive, more inquisitive? How much negativity do you get from it?
Well, just as a reference point, my brother, who is older than I am, I'll leave it at that. But
okay,
he didn't like the name at first, but now he has all of our stickers all over his golf cart, his car, his bench sitting on his porch. So he's all about it. And he actually helped us come in and helped us bottle some beer as well. So people they're a little put off by it at first, but I think they come to, I don't know, embrace is a good term, but they'll accept it. It's and the millennials, the younger folks, they're all about it. They think it's like funny, hilarious, great name. They love it.
Okay.
So.
I think what it means to me, honestly, is I take my job and my product very serious. I'm very serious about what I do. But to me, beer is fun, and to have fun with beer, we just have to remember that beer is fun, and it's okay to have fun with it, even if it's just the name.
True. No one forgets your brewery name if they
that
hear
works
it.
too.
That's guaranteed. So
definitely. Now, as far as distribution goes, it looks like from where you can get your beers, you're basically, let's call it OTP, Johns Creek, northeastern Georgia kind of area, with a little bit of imprint into the city of Atlanta as well. Are any plans to expand that to reach a little bit more as the months and years progress?
Yeah, we're as far west as Rome, as far east as Augusta. We're talking with some other distributors in Georgia, maybe hit the south. We're looking at moving into Columbia. So we'll bring our beer to Columbia.
Good. They'd be happy to see that. There you go. I like that. I like that. Excellent. Yeah, and so we talked earlier, too, about possible canning, packaging things. You did a small test run earlier this year, right? And that went pretty well because I saw it, and then it was gone, literally within a week. So you guys took care of business. You're going to expand that online as well?
Yeah, we're constantly trying to find new ways to get the beer to the masses. And whatever works for us, that's how we're going to do it.
You guys going with bottles or cans or both?
Both.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because it seems, you don't really want to say anymore, Aaron, that cans are catching on or they become more popular. Cans are popular. People want the portability. They want to take it to the, especially something like your Helles Lager. They want to take that to the beach, the lake, the pool.
And the lake
like
is
that.
like.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
If that.
So, but a lot of discussions around that with packaging.
It's funny for me for packaging. I'm still sort of old school about it. I love a Helles Lager. I love an IPA. I love a lighter beer in a can, but I still love my porters and stouts in bottles.
Me
and
too.
I don't know why it doesn't make any difference.
Bigger
really,
beers and what I consider special beers. I like the presentation of a large format bottle, the opening it poured. I just enjoy that.
Yeah.
So sure, a lot of our specialty one-off beers like that, seasonals, we will probably launch in 22-ounce bombers or 750 milliliters.
Okay,
absolutely.
Well, guys, I know you said that you weren't going to give up too much of the R&D info there, but what's coming? What beers are on the horizon that you might be able to share with us that people want to keep an eye out for?
We're going to come out with some Belgians, some higher gravity Belgians.
Okay, cool.
We were going to launch another beer featuring some local ingredients in the form of corn, but we're going to postpone that for a little bit.
Okay.
But the name of the beer is Crap.
Okay.
Crap. Okay.
Yeah.
Crap.
All right then.
No, I'm not
Which
gonna,
stands
I'm not gonna,
for
I was going to
being
say
a beer judge. Classic American Pilsner is CAP, right?
Okay.
CAP. So I stuck an R in there. It's a high gravity version of a CAP. So it's a classic, robust American Pilsner.
Oh, see? There's reasoning behind it.
Have you tried Left Nut's Crap? So, yeah.
We love the name, but there's some pushback with some folks.
With some of that, yeah.
But we're all about the name. Cause
you guys are just riding the lightning with all the names over there. Huh?
Right.
Why not?
Just have fun with it.
Exactly. So about ready to wrap it up with the guys from Left Nut Brewing, Jason Ford and Rick Foote. How can folks get in touch with you? How can they follow you? All that kind of good stuff.
You can definitely go to our website, leftnutbrewing.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you want to keep up with what's happening at the brewery on a weekly basis, definitely Facebook's one of our better ways to communicate what we've got. We've got food trucks coming out, live music. We've got some guys that spin vinyl, do DJ kind of stuff. So we try to keep it fresh.
We have folks come out and paint. They do paint and sip.
Cool.
It's usually around wine, but they come and do it at the brewery around beer.
Yeah.
What else have we had? We've had live music, of course. And what am I forgetting? Oh, workouts.
Excellent.
Aerobics.
Tim and I will be there.
Oh, yoga.
You guys want to say yoga? You do the yoga?
And aerobics, yes.
A little CrossFit, maybe. Somebody else said no.
You know something interesting I saw that someone contacted me. They do this. They said at some breweries in Alabama is a sushi rolling cat.
I do see that. Yes. Yeah.
So
there you go. Lots of cool
stuff. One of our
our
investors, who's a fitness guy, he wants to do boxing.
Okay.
Before or after the tour?
It's like a boxing class, and they would come and do a boxing class.
Yeah, I could do a boxing before, but not necessarily after. That might not be pretty. So
that's where you get full of crap and ready to fight.
That's it. There you go. There you go. All right. On that note, I'm going to close this interview. Jason Ford, Rick Foote from Let Nut. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Guys,
Appreciate
it.
Thank you.
No worries.
All right, let's check out this week's hot list.
Time for the hot list. The beer guys have the scoop on what's going on next week. Brought to you by CRL Contracting. We build breweries. CRLcontracting.com.
That's hot.
So we've got some stuff going on. It's Memorial Day weekend. Everyone's got the 3-day weekend off.
There are stuff.
There'd be stuff and things. What are some stuff and things going on in Georgia?
So through Monday, Orpheus 3rd anniversary, where you can get a white curtain blowing in the draft from a half open window beside a chair, on which nobody sat. So Orpheus anniversary parties are always great. I haven't missed one yet. Going to go down to this one. They'll have lots of beers on tap. There's some stuff you don't see out in the market regularly, as well as their anniversary beer, like we mentioned there. So that is going on through Monday. They have different sessions each day. So check that out. Sunday, we got Sunday Fun Day at Your Pie Perimeter there. So they feature a lot of beers for $3.14 a pint. That's a bargain, Aaron.
It is.
So to get a pint of beer for that price. Also on Sunday, Wrecking Barn Farms Barn Bash.
Nice.
So as most people probably know, the folks from Wrecking Bar Brew Pub also have a farm in Loganville, and they're doing a little dinner cocktail party thing out there at the farm.
Fancy, exactly.
So,
that's good.
On Thursday, we have Pint Night at Your Pie Perimeter. Again, featured pint for only $3.14. Also on Thursday, the MIG Margarita in Goza releases at Second Self. On Friday, we've got some donuts and beer pairing at Sweetwater with Sublime Donuts. And next Saturday, Burnt Hickory Brewery's 5th anniversary in Kennesaw.
That's lots of stuff out there.
Yeah.
In Alabama, we've got a nice list as well. Redneck Pool Party, it's right up my alley at Mad Maltz. That's going to be on Saturday. Plus, in Tuscaloosa, the Brass Tap is having a grand opening on Monday, so they're going to have their first one there as well. Game Your Way, Pints and Pixels in Huntsville, and Fire in the Hole Firkin Tapping at Big Beach Brewing. For a full list of events, of course, check out our calendar at beerguysradio.com. Now it's time for a giveaway to give away. What are we giving away? Who are we giving away to?
Who? I can answer the who. You
take
care of the what.
I'll do that. So, there you go.
What kind of goodies go in our swag packs,
We got some
Aaron?
T-shirts. We got some glasses. We've got some stickers, koozies, bunch of stuff.
All the stuff Beer Geeks love, right?
Absolutely.
Well,
yes.
You know who is getting all the stuff that Beer Geeks love this week, Aaron?
Who's that?
John Harper.
Nice.
So, yeah, John, thanks so much for subscribing to This Week in Georgia Beer. Drop us an email to beerguys@beerguysradio.com, and Aaron will hook you up with a swag pack.
I will do so.
And, Aaron, if others want to get their name in the mix for this wonderful prize, how would they do that?
Super easy. Just go ahead and visit beerguysradio.com. Sign up for This Week in Georgia Beer. You'll get a weekly newsletter from Tim with all of the happenings in Georgia Beer, and you'll also be entered to win our weekly swag pack. It's a good stuff, good deal, and we do not spam you just once a week. That's all we email. That's it. So coming up next week, we've got a couple of folks. It's going to be a busy studio. Absolutely.
Week,
Good Word Brewing, a brand new brewery coming in Duluth, and also CRL Contracting, the folks that are building that brewery. They're going to be with us in studio next week. So check us out at beerguysradio.com and on the socials. In the meantime, don't forget to drink local. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We're on demand via iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. Always online at beerguysradio.com. Aaron and Tim are back next week with more about the amazing world of craft beer. Cheers. The Beer Guys Radio Show on the Beer Guys Radio Network. beerguysradio.com.